amazing you. Welcome to Chat Hour and Happy New Year to you. If you're returning, welcome and thank you. And if you're stopping by for the very first time, welcome and thank you. I am super excited to be back again today. And I am not doing this alone. I am doing this with Mr. Taiwo Akinlami. Now, I've listened to Mr. Taiwo Akinlami pronounce his name over and over. I used to go Mr. Taiwo Akinlami, but it goes Taiwo Akinlami. And I really love to pronounce people's names the way they love to pronounce their names. All right, so Mr. Taiwo Akinlami is a parenting educator, he is a child rights advocate, he is a lawyer, he wears so many hats. Welcome, Mr. Taiwo Akinlami. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you so much, my sister. You are doing a great work. I celebrate you. I commend your tenacity and the level of work that you are doing. I love your social consciousness, interested in taking matters beyond, the perfunctory level to bring it to the front burner of conversation. From the first conversation we have had to the second one and to this one, I think I've enjoyed every bit of it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, and I must commend you. I must commend you too. I must say that you're doing a fantastic job. You're so passionate about this. I can remember that you sent a message to me. You were so concerned. You were like advising the report of the Lagos state government about Sylvester Oromoni's matter, and you are just always following up. You're always doing so much. You put in your resources, energy into this, and I must really say that you're doing a very, very great job. Well done. I think that if every Nigerian is like this, if everybody takes up this matter on other matters, and they're always just so concerned, Nigeria will be a better place to live in. Well done, sir. All right, so now let's delve into what we are talking about today. Now, if you have been following this channel, we did a post before, and this is a follow-up to it. And if you are a lover of what happens in Nigeria, especially if you're not in Nigeria, but you're very interested in what happens in Nigeria, then you should have heard about this. So recently, Lagos state government cleared 5 students and 5 employees of Dowen College, Lekki, Lagos, who were accused of complicity in the death of 12-year-old Sylvester Oromoni. Now, this is following the legal advice of the director of public prosecution, Miss Adetutu Oshinusi, and I'm just going to go into how all of this came about. According to the advice, the interim and final autopsy report issued by the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital and toxicology report of post-mortem samples and that of the Central Hospital Warri were in agreement as to the cause of death, namely sepsis. The result of the toxicology is also not indicative of any toxic or poisonous substance in the body of the deceased. The DPP's legal advice therefore concluded that, based on these findings, there is no prima facie case of murder, involuntary manslaughter, and/or malicious administering of poison with intent to harm against the 5 students. Now, this has met mixed reactions from Nigerians. Some people are saying that, we knew money would have exchanged hands. Or some people are saying that maybe classism has come into play. Some people are saying different things. Now, I particularly like that you're a lawyer and we can have a good conversation apart from the emotions that we attach to things. What the law says, what it is that is really happening. How can we move on from this? Is this the end of the whole matter? Can the family sue? Can they appeal? Can there be personal autopsy? What exactly is the situation? What do you think, Mr. Akinlami?
I think there are 2 things involved. First, we are not a nation that is thorough about anything. We're a nation of anything goes. That is not our desire for our nation. We want a nation that works. We want a nation where matters are resolved, to a logical conclusion. Now, let me speak from the legal perspective, and I will also speak from an activist perspective. Well, let me start from law, the position of the law.
Okay.
When any person is accused of a crime under the criminal justice system of Nigeria and of Lagos State is this instance, police swings into investigation and investigates the matter. Upon the investigation of the police write a report of their investigation. When they have concluded their investigation, they pass this file because the matter now, it is the Ministry of Justice that has the power to prosecute a matter, particularly before the High Court, not the police. So what does the police do? The police sends the file to the office of the DPP for an advice. Are you getting it?
Yes.
So the DPP will now come back with an advice to say, well, we believe there's enough facts for this matter to be charged, or we believe there are no enough facts for this matter to be charged. So what has happened is that the police sent the file to the office of the DPP, and the DPP now says, according to its own legal responsibility under the law, that they don't find any reason why those children and the school staff should be charged to a criminal court. They cannot be charged. What the Lagos State government is saying is that there are no prima facie facts. There are no conclusive facts. The investigation does not give the Ministry of Justice the power, does not show enough evidence for them to be charged for a crime. I find that disturbing, and I've made several comments on that. Now, I also know that that decision of the Ministry of Justice may not be final. The parents of the child can approach a court, a civil court, to mandate the Lagos State government to review that policy. It's called an order of mandamus. You can ask the court, a court of law in Lagos State, to say, please, first, what the family would do is to write to the Lagos State government, that is the Ministry of Justice, stating their rejection of that advice, stating the basis for the rejection of the advice. And I think they have, basis that they can allude to. Having done that, now write to the Office of Public Defender, Office of the Public Prosecutor, Lagos State, to say, please review your position on this matter because we have further and better facts. Now, two things will happen. Is either the ministry where we advise itself and do a review and inform the family that they work on a review. If the Ministry of Justice does not do the needful, in the opinion of the family can now approach a high court to mandate the Ministry of Justice to do a review. That the Ministry of Justice cannot be forced into a conclusion, but they can be asked to do another review. It's like you fail an exam in the university and you ask for your script to be remarked. Say, remark this script, this is not what I wrote. Are you getting it? That is on one leg. So I advise the family to take that action to challenge the report, the advice of the DPP, to challenge it, to write to the Ministry of Justice. Now, whether they're going to get justice or not is a symposium discussion for another day. Ministry of Justice is in charge of the judiciary. So when you sue the Ministry of Justice in the court of law to the court, I mean, you may not get a credible response from the court. But with the advocacy going on, the court may also be forced to advise itself to compel the Ministry of Justice to review its own policy or its own advice in this matter. So that's on the legal point. Now, the Ministry of Justice has not said that the school is not liable in a civil court. They can't even say that. Now, by saying that they have not said that, they've not done us a favor. They've not done us any favor. It's just that they cannot stop a citizen from approaching a court to say that I suspect foul play. You are negligent in the way you handle this child. You may not be liable in a criminal court, but you have a case to answer in a civil court, right? That's number two. Number three is the fact that you don't conclude on this kind of matter without looking at circumstances of death. There's a law called Coroner Inquest law.
Fantastic.
Yes,
I was coming there.
When somebody dies under a questionable circumstance or questionable circumstances, right? You don't base your decision on autopsy alone. You're going to look at the autopsy. You're going to look at circumstances surrounding the death. You're going to look at witnesses who were involved in the process. These children that have been spoken about can be invited and their evidence taken in camera because their names have been mentioned. The rest of the coroner inquiry can go on in public. Everybody's aware of what is going on. That has not been done, and that has to be done. You see, it is the coroner inquiry that will now say, okay, in view of the autopsy, in view of other circumstances, see, if somebody dies of septics or whatever they call it, what is the cause? Coroner inquiry is not going to find the cause like that. The coroner inquiry may not find the cause. The autopsy may not find the cause. Is that not so? People kill people, and they arrange it in a way that the person commits suicide. You know, we've seen such cases before. Somebody can hang somebody. Somebody can kill somebody and put a gun in his hand as if he shot himself. We've seen all of that before. What is autopsy report going to find? Autopsy report is going to find that the person died of gunshot shot by himself. But by the time we begin to police get into the matter to begin to investigate, they will ask the question, if a gun is so close, if it is shot, what kind of impact should it have? This kind of impact shows a gun that is shot 10 meters away from this person. It can't be 2 meters away. It will have torn him apart. All of that analysis will go on into the matter. You don't base your conclusion. I think the Lagos State DPP acted too fast, acted too early. Now, this is a matter of public interest. Everybody is involved because of the destiny of our children. Why are we basing our final decision on an autopsy when we can go further and look at the possibility of a coroner inquest into the death that will bring everybody together, and it will be done in the glare of the public, not in private? How many people can enter into the theater where they are doing, where experts are cutting people for autopsy report? How many people? But in a coroner inquiry, everybody is an inquiry, it's an inquest. Everybody who is interested can come there. It happens in the glare of the public. That is what we are saying. Lastly, we are now saying that the school said Sylvester Oromoni sustained injury. The school says so. What is in divergence, what parties do not agree on, is how he sustained the injury. Is how. The school said he sustained the injury while playing football with other children. The father said he sustained the injury, according to what his boy told him, because he was bullied, because he refused to be initiated into a court. Let's assume without conceding that it was during football. What is not in dispute is that the boy suffered an injury. How come that is not in the issue? Whatever killed him, the question the Lagos State government needs to answer, is there a link between that injury, whether it was during football or via bullying, whichever caused it? If he sustained an injury during a football match within the premises of the school, when the school was aware of the injury, what did they do to the injury? Did they take him to a hospital? Did they treat him? What did they do to him? When it came to the knowledge of the school that there was an injury sustained through football, what did they do?
A lot of questions have been begging for answers. People have been wondering if the parents took care of him, they took him to the hospital and all of those. Now, according to reports, they said he started complaining on the 20th of November, and the school took care of him between the 21st and 22nd, and he was released to his parents on the 23rd. We learned that he arrived Warri on the 26th, and well, Central Hospital Warri was on strike, and so the family doctor was coming home to treat him, and well, that's about that. Now, the question has not been answered by Lagos State government whether the school has child protection system in place.
If you look at the facts of the case, the parents were called, the boy was driven from Lagos to Warri, and so someone will have asked, or someone could ask, why did you check the boy into a hospital in Lagos? Somebody could have asked, why did you, even if you are going to check him into a hospital, the X-ray must have given them a clean bill of health that the boy could travel. So if the boy was to travel, why did the boy travel by road? Why didn't he travel by air? I mean, to accelerate the process of getting him help and all of that. Now, all of these facts are neither here nor there, but the truth of the matter is that there are fundamental issues I want us to focus on. Number one is that, was there a bullying case? Number two, if there was a bullying case or there was a football match, how did the school respond to it? Number three, does the school have in place a machinery to protect children from being bullied or to protect children from being abused, any form of abuse? Does the school have in place those machineries? Do they have in place the machinery? So I'm saying to you categorically that, like many schools, they don't have in place basic system. So the case today is not whether there was bullying or Sylvester Oromoni died. The case now is that the school should come out and tell us what they have in place to the public. To the public is a lie. You guys are just crying blue mother. This is our child protection policy, codified. This is our child protection system, codified into a policy, broken down into processes. It's clear. Look at it. We have it. This is the training we run for children. This is everything we have in place. So we have in place a mechanism, a machinery to protect children. The school should tell us that. The Lagos State government should compel the school to tell us that. You cannot reopen the school except you are able to show us that the children that are going back to the school are safe. Note, you are as good as your last match. In the last match of Dowen College, a child has died under questionable circumstances. That is their last match. So the question therefore is, what do they have to say vis-a-vis that last match? What is their statement to the public? So, assuming without conceding that the boy died, the boy sustained injury while he was playing football, what did you do? What kind of football was it? What kind of injury? Who did you report to? These are fundamental issues. So what we are saying, in actual fact, is that due process has not been followed. Processes have not been followed. The law has not been followed to the letter. One side of the law has been focused on. Are we together?
Yeah.
And you cannot have, because it's the same Lagos State government. So if our Lagos State government, if I want to release that DPP report, advice, I will also review the administrative part of the investigation and say, well, we are saying that criminally they don't have a case to answer, but we are not saying they don't have a case to answer in civil court. And these are the basis of our conclusion. Ministry of Education is involved in the investigation. Quality assurance is involved in the education, in the investigation. Lagos Safety Board is involved in the investigation. Ministry of Youth and Social Development, Children Department, Child Protection Unit is involved in the investigation. What did they find? You should tell the public what they found. Because all of them visited the school as a team. What did they find when they went to the school? Did they find under what circumstances is the school running their school? What safety measures do they have in place? They should tell the public. That's what we are saying. You can't just talk about DPP advice. That is insensitive. Releasing that report and telling us it's insensitive. Even if you want to review that kind of report, you should now come and say, okay, this is the other side of the matter. And this is what we are saying. So Nigerians and Lagosians who have confidence that, well, the Lagos State government may drop the ball in the area of criminal law, criminal charges because the court is not a Father Christmas. You must prove your case, and criminal case must be proven beyond reasonable doubt. It is until when you prove, because in law, you are certain must prove. It is until when you prove that I can come out and say and defend myself. If you have not proven anything, there's nothing for me to defend. So if you say that and say, okay, the issue is that we don't know we can't file criminal charges, good. What about administrative charges? And the Lagos State government should be, what about administrative investigation that they carried out? Vis-a-vis whether children are safe in that school. Vis-a-vis when last were children safe in that school, when last were they safe? Vis-a-vis the machinery they have in place to ensure that children are protected. That's what we are saying. What machinery do they have in place to ensure that children are protected? Now, do they have a child protection system that I've been saying, codified into a policy, broken down into processes on which everybody within the school system, including children and parents, are trained on their role? And this policy is subject to periodical review. Do they have that in place? What we are saying is that irrespective of the circumstances that led to Sylvester Oromoni's death, the school has not convinced us that they have in place the machinery that will prevent it. So therefore, we conclude there is a level of culpability until the school comes forward to disprove what we are saying. That is what we are saying. Tell us that we are lying. Tell us that we don't know what we are saying. Tell us that we are insane. Tell us that we are crime blue mother. Tell us that we are alarmists. Tell us that we are rabble rousers. Tell us we don't know what we are saying. How do you silence us? You silence us with facts. You come out and say, these are the issues. Lagos State government also comes out with facts and say, Akinlami, you are just blabbing. These are the facts of the matter. And I think another platform to have that conversation is through a coroner inquest.
Yeah.
You know, there's another thing which is abracadabra, you know, coroner inquest. Now that it has been politicized, you just set up one kangaroo arrangement, they just do a shoddy work, and the way we have the DPP advice.
Why do we think like this? Could it be because Nigeria has dealt with so many people and we really do not think that anything good can come out of any investigation at the end of the day?
The boy hit his head on the bunk of the bed. I'm telling you the findings of coroner inquiry, findings. Hit his head on the bunk of the bed. The boy was moved to the hospital. Nobody in the school could stop the blood. Was moved to the hospital. The hospital of first respondent is 1 hour 35 minutes if there is traffic from the school. If there's no traffic, it's 1 hour 15 minutes. The school was still insisting that they did the needful. The parents of this boy insisted on a coroner inquiry. The coroner inquiry was carried out. Everything that I've said to you now were the findings of the coroner inquiry. But what happened after all? The school went ahead. Nothing happened. I know the school. It's not that after that they now have a child protection system. The school was not even ever shut. Was never shut for anything. Today the school continues to run. Those are the kind of things I'm talking about. A child, died in a school, injected by a non-medical matron. Are you getting asked?
Yeah.
Was a matter investigated to a logical conclusion in Nigeria before the DPP advised. I've been saying it, that this matter is likely to be swept under the carpet. And that's why we started our campaign, no protection, no school. To say this matter cannot be swept under the carpet. What I'm saying to you right now is that the chicken has come home to roost. Our fear, our worst fear has been confirmed. Are you getting it? So what is going on right now is that our level of suspicion is heightened. When it comes to working with school, I'm an insider.
Yeah.
I've worked within the school system for over 20 years. And I know schools like the back of my hands. Schools know me, I know them. The system knows me and I know the system. Government knows me and I know them. I worked with the Lagos State government in 2016 to develop a child protection policy for the entire Lagos State. I didn't charge 1 naira. Are you getting it? I know what I could charge and I know what I charge. I didn't charge because I wanted to be without excuse. I did it free of charge for over a month. For over a year, we sat in different places, bringing my expertise to the fore. So what we are saying is that we are not paranoid. We are not people that do not want to see anything good in government. No, that's what I'm saying. You are as good as your last match, as I keep saying. What has been the tendency? What has been the disposition? What have we found from the cases we have handled, from the cases we have seen? Are you getting it? I did a broadcast where I reeled out circumstances under which children have died in schools. Which of them have seen the light of day in terms of prosecution, in terms of apportioning responsibilities, in terms of those cases becoming a springboard for a systems review within the school system? All of those things don't affect anything. This is what happens, my sister. Something happens, we make noise. With the blessing of the social media, we make noise. Even the people whom it has happened to can join to make the noise because they want to make the noise very fast so that the noise can die. So after we have made the noise, everybody is satisfied that we have made noise. So we forget the matter until another matter happens. Then we make noise again. We forget the matter. Is it not in this country that the former Attorney General, I think it was a serving Attorney General when he was killed, have we found the killing till today? I was in 2009, well, in 1989, was it not in 1989? I was 19 years old when Delegiwa was killed. Have we found the killer till today? So how many people have been killed in Nigeria that the matter has been resolved? Or the public murder, Alfred Rewani was killed in this country. Suliat Adedeji was killed in Ibadan. How many people have been killed and you find that the matter, this guy, Williams, that the name is Funshaw Williams, was killed in Lagos? When last did we come to a logical conclusion as to prosecution, as to who is responsible? So what I'm saying is that we do not have the precedent of being thorough, of being truthful, of being upright, of being committed to the cause of justice. That is the basis of our affair. And the way this matter is going, if we keep quiet and do nothing, it's going to go the way others have gone, right? So a school bus was dropping a child in a state in the US. And when he dropped the children, I think a vehicle came, a car came and killed one of them or injured one of them. Now, the state swung into action. No child must suffer this kind of death again. So in that state, and in most states in the US, when a school bus is dropping a child at the bus stop, every car is stopped. No car moves. They learned from that. It must not happen again. In a state in the United States, in that particular state, police officers are allowed to carry pistols, only pistols, and gun. One day, armed robbers came and used assault rifle to rob a bank, and they held the state to ransom for over 12 hours. Immediately after that incident, the state reviewed their law. Now police officers can carry assault rifle, because it was by the mercies of God and by superior strategy that the police was able to defeat the armed robbers. How come our experiences don't inform our law? There are laws in different countries that are named after people. They name the law after the people that something happened to, that make them to now make the law. To say under our watch it will not happen again. So what kind of country are we running that we are not learning from our mistakes? We are not learning from our errors. Those are the issues.
Will the deceased dying declaration be put into consideration? Because I learned that in the court of law, that is important. And I wouldn't know if that was recorded.
I don't think that was recorded, but dying declaration is dying declaration. It doesn't have to be recorded. Is that at the point of death, knowing that he might die or she might die, make certain statements. You know, in evidence, in law, there's a rule against hearsay. If you tell me something now, if we are going to reproduce before the court, you will have to come before the court yourself to say it. I can't say, she told me, and so that I know. But the only way, the only circumstance under which we don't accept, we accept essays, is so to say, is dying declaration. Somebody says, why are you trying to shoot me? This is Mokwe wants to kill me. Why do you want to kill me? Somebody hears. That's dying declaration. A statement made thinking that I may never have the opportunity to talk about the cause of my death. But let me say something. Let me cry out. In case I die, maybe somebody will hear who will speak for me. That is dying declaration. It doesn't need to be recorded. If it is found that it is true that the child made those statements, now then it is tenable. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
But this is the point. For us to move forward, we have to insist on a coroner inquiry or a public inquiry on one form of public conversation or the other. Many children have died in school. For me, it is one death too many for Sylvester Oromoni. Because over the years, I've been saying these things. Now, for me, till I draw my last breath, there must be a law, a special law that addresses, in pursuant to the Child Rights Act or the Child Rights Law of Lagos State, that addresses how schools should run. If you've read Section 2 of the Child Rights Act, talks about the responsibility of everywhere children gather to protect them according to the standard of regulatory bodies. What is the standard in Lagos State? There's an executive order that says it is now mandatory for anybody who runs a child-focused organization to put in place a child protection system codified into a policy, broken down into processes on which everybody within the school system is trained, or within the child-focused organization is trained. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
That is the policy of Lagos State, backed up by an executive order. How come we are not talking about that? How come we are relegated to the background? Section 2 of the Child Rights Act, which the Lagos State government has adopted since 2007 and amended in 2015. How come that is not within the full glare of conversation? Who is deceiving who? Who has something to hide? Who is lying to us? Who is afraid of the truth? All we are saying, I'm not even saying Dowen is culpable. I'm not even saying anybody is culpable. I'm saying that let their culpability or non-culpability go through due process. Let's investigate. Let's find out what happened. Let's find out the truth to the last jot of what happened. Let's open it up to the members of the public. Let the public be aware of what is going on, and let the public judge for themselves whether justice has been done or justice has not been done. That is my position. That is our position in our NGO. What we are saying is that subject this process to proper scrutiny. If at the end of the day, the scrutiny is done and Dowen is found to have done everything they were supposed to do, you will see me, I will begin to defend them tomorrow.
Fantastic.
What do you want them to do? They've done everything they're supposed to do. But everything is ordered in secrecy. And we don't know what is going on. And we have challenged people to come forward and tell us what they have. And they are shying away from it. And they don't want to do it. And the next is to bring a DPP report or DPP advice that is now saying no criminal case to answer. The same government that did criminal investigation did administrative investigation. Why are you releasing only criminal investigation? Let's now assume, without conceding, that there's no criminal case to answer. Why are you not releasing the findings of your own investigation administratively into the matter?
Do you think the Ministry of Education comes in here?
The role I'm talking about right now is the role of the Ministry of Justice. It has a role to play. They can't just tell us then, all the line ministries. I know the ministries that have investigated this matter. Ministry of Justice, right? Ministry of Youth and Social Development. The directorate that deals with quality assurance in Lagos State.
Okay.
Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Agency. Safety Board in Lagos. Ministry of Education. They have been involved in the investigation of this matter administratively, trying to find whether the school is in order in terms of providing protection. What kind of registration does the school have? What kind of registration do they have to run a boarding school? What kind of boarding school are they running? Who is running it? Do they have an escape route in the school? If something goes wrong, when last did they service their gadgets and everything they use? What kind of policies in place for maintenance? How do they channel the energy of the children? When last did they do a training on bullying or anti-bullying? These are questions, you see, because when something happens, the members of the public deserve to know. The only way Dowen College is going to be exonerated is for them to show us that they have done everything they're supposed to do. You see, a school may not be able to stop bullying in school. You may not be able to stop it. You may not even be able to stop abuse in school. That is not the concern of the law when something goes wrong. When something goes wrong, because the law also knows that humans are fallible, you can put in place the best system and things will not still work. Because that's fallibility of human being. The only place we want a perfect system is in heaven, right? On the earth, you can do everything right. You know, there are people who exercise, they work out, they do everything, they still come down with cancer. Something still happens to them. That is the fallibility. That is, we're in the fallen state.
Human.
What is the fallen? That's human. He does everything. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do anything. He's gentle. He goes about his way. It will just because a stable level go and hit him. What do you do? I say, very kind man, just got married, didn't do anything wrong. Why should he be him? Who should he be? Are you getting it? They have done everything they were supposed to do, and this thing still happens. But the concern of experts, the concern of the law is that show us that you have done everything you are supposed to do.
Fantastic.
And if you know you have not done everything you are supposed to do, humble yourself under the mighty hands of the law, under the mighty hands of God, under the mighty hands of public opinion, and come out clean and say, you know, guys, we are sorry. From now, we are going to do the needful. We are sorry we didn't do everything we are supposed to do. Please, we are ready to submit ourselves to scrutiny, whatever we need to do to whatever we need to put in place. We are ready now. We're going to do it. Please, we want to assure you that no child again will die in our school because we are ready to do the needful. They are not doing any of that. They are taking the public for a ride. They are taking the parents of Sylvester Oromoni for a ride. What is going to happen is that if you don't make all of this noise that we are making, this matter will die a natural death. God forbid, who knows whose son will be next.
Fantastic.
Mr. Akinlami, remember the last time we had this conversation, we were so concerned about how after Christmas we might not hear about this case again. It's just so good that the case is still on. And you know, Sylvester's father said that he wasn't even surprised by the report of the Lagos state government. And well, let's get right into what they said the cause of death is: sepsis. A lot of people might be wondering what sepsis is. Sepsis is a serious condition resulting from the presence of harmful microorganisms in the blood or other tissues and the body's response to their presence, potentially leading to the malfunctioning of various organs, shock, and death. According to the Commissioner for Police, Lagos State, Hakeem Odumosu, 2 autopsies show that Sylvester Oromoni died a natural death, and there is no evidence to establish a case of bullying.
Say, by their report, that the boy died of natural death. Let's agree without conceding. Let's assume without conceding that it is of natural death. No problem. What about coroner inquiry? Why are we afraid of that? It's natural death. What about coroner inquest? It's in the law now. Why are we not going that route? The investigation that the Lagos state government did, where is the report of that one? Vis-a-vis the preparedness of the school to protect children. Whether children were protected at that time by a system codified into policy, broken down into processes. So we agree, we assume, without conceding, that it was science. The boy died a natural death. The boy woke up in school, he was sick, they invited the parents, and the boy died. Are you getting it? Like Agbaga's case in Abuja. The girl woke up, she was ill, you know.
In the girl's case, they found a condom in her vagina.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Now, in that case also, you know, that one has been swept under the carpet permanently. People are agitating in Lugbe College, Premier College in Lugbe was never shut down. Are you getting in that matter? So what I'm saying is this. There are allegations in the public domain. The father of the child is saying something. If I have contrary fact, I want to disgrace him. I'll bring the matter to a coroner inquest. Let him come and say what he knows. I'm eager. You see, if you are accused of something and you are correct, you are eager to exonerate yourself. You are eager to put the facts in the public domain. Who is afraid to put the facts in the public domain? No one should be telling Lagos state government, we want to bring the facts to public domain. Please don't help us. That's what Dowen should be saying. Is that not so? Why are they not saying so? Why are they enjoying this secrecy? Why have they not even addressed a press conference? Who is their media publicist who has not advised them as a school? Why have they not addressed a press conference? In that press conference, disprove everything we have said. Why are they not doing that? So, as I've said, I don't know Dowen College before. Sylvester Oromoni, I don't know him before. I don't know the father. They've not briefed me as a lawyer. Even if they brief me now, I'm not interested. Are you getting it? They're already speaking to a lawyer. Are you getting it? And I believe the lawyer is capable and able to handle their matter. I come from the perspective of a public interest lawyer. I come from the perspective of a Safe for Children ethicist, believing that ethics should govern everything that we do in child protection. I came from the perspective of having worked with different organizations all over the world. British Council, very strong on child protection. UNICEF, very strong on child protection. SOS Students Village, very strong on child protection. UNFPA, very strong on child protection. USAID, very strong on child protection. I come with a huge lorry load of experience. And I haven't studied other jurisdictions where children have died. How is it handled? In other jurisdictions, the death of a child is not taken lightly at all, because government wants to repose confidence in people to say, your children are safe. These are the things that happened. When government does not take it up, individuals take it up to ensure that justice is done. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The death of children, Victoria Klimbe died in the UK, allegedly killed by the aunt, the grand aunt, with her boyfriend. Now, that matter changed the face of child protection in the United Kingdom. This is supposed to be an inconsequential girl, 8-year-old or 9-year-old, killed. Black girl, not white girl. But the entire machinery of government swung into action to ensure that that becomes a memorable case, to ensure that no child suffers what Victoria suffered. That is how things are done, my sister. Unfortunately, it is not so. So it's science, it's natural. Yes, we get it. Don't be emotional about it. Yes, I agree. We shouldn't be. We should believe science. But two things are involved, my sister. We know that science is not science in Nigeria all of the time.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Let's not agree that it is even science. Where are the other reports? We're not 10 lepers cleansed. How come it's only one leper that is dancing around? What about the other lepers? Where are they in the matter? That's what we are saying. That's our case. And please, my sister, it is important that we reiterate that fact. That's what we are saying. We are not saying science is wrong. Science is correct. As a matter of fact, they have told us that the investigation, the autopsy, has a 2-level confirmation. Lagos State and Warri. So they are saying that they even have what they call corroboration. They have corroborated another expert advice, confirmation. They have that. No problem. But what about coroner inquiry? Our allegation that the school should show us their child protection system codified into policy, which shows that they did everything they were supposed to do, not according to the figment of their imagination, but according to the letters of the law, according to the Child Rights Act of Lagos State, Child Rights Law of Lagos State, according to the executive order or the Child Safeguarding and Protection executive order of Lagos State. According to all of those things, have they done everything they're supposed to do?
Two things: coroner inquest, and the school should show us that they did everything they could to prevent the alleged bullying.
Quick response to deal with the abuse. If he was playing football with his friends, when he suffered the injury, what did the school do? Did they send him to the hospital? Or did they wait for him to continue to suffer and they call the parents? Those are the fundamental issues.
Thank you so much, sir.
I want to commend you again for your thoroughness, for the way you conduct your interviews. I mean, you've done your work. You've left no stone unturned in addressing this matter. I think this gives people clarity. They are able to understand that, okay, they've touched everything. You see, because some people, the interview might be lost in, is medical, is natural, where do you want to go? You've taken us beyond that and let us see what the issues are. I think the purpose of all of this conversation is to clarify the issue for the members of the public so that they can know what we're asking for. And I think that we have been able to do that successfully today. If I try to add something, I don't think I have anything to add than to commend your work, altruism with which you do it, and most importantly, the expertise with which you couch your questions, which is very, very important. That shows that you have an end in mind, you know, and the end in mind is to educate the members of the public. Nobody has any other interest in this matter than to say the bell tolls at Sylvester Oromoni today Who knows where the bell tolls tomorrow?
Thank you so much, Mr. Akinlami. Thank you indeed. And I must commend you. I must say that it takes a lot, putting a lot of energy, resources into this. It shows that there are good Nigerians and there are people who want Nigeria to work at the end of the day. Well done. Indeed. Well done. All right. Thank you so much for answering anytime I call. Thank you. I really appreciate. To you watching, thank you so much for watching. Now, what do you think about this conversation? I would like to have your thoughts down there in the comment section. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, do not even hesitate in hitting the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell. And if you consider this video a good one, kindly smash the like button. Thank you so much. Till I come your way again, let the conversation continue.